friends, Peg here, and today was Art Joyous Sharing on Art Joyous Sharing YouTube channel. And so this is just the fast version of what we were doing today. Shell and I were doing a little bit of abstract art. And, if you want to see what we did in real time, you can go over to Art Joyous Sharing channel and watch it. I'm just talking about this particular page that was abstract. I'm talking about surfaces that can be used. These are some abstract backgrounds done with alcohol ink. And then talking about the different papers and things that I had used. I mostly had worked on some gloss coat paper or photo paper, and it's the back side of the paper that I was working on today. Then I'm showing a piece of mineral paper. This is a cheap substitute for Yupo. Like if you want to use something that's more plasticized, it's real thin paper, but it works. And so I use that when I just want to experiment and not spend a bunch of money on a piece of Yupo. So I'm going to work with inks and alcohol inks, acrylic inks, all kinds of things today. So starting off with a piece of that chrome coat paper with some F&W acrylics, I'm just going to brayer on a bit of that blackish charcoal color onto my piece of paper. And, I get a soft brayer and spread it out a little bit and make sure that things are drying okay. I'm going to sprinkle on some water, and then I'm going to take a squeegee and I'm going to squeegee it off so that you can see that you get this water droplet effect um, on the paper itself. And, you've seen this done any number of times using different inks. Now I'm going to show what happens with alcohol, just showing, the different products, different things that you can do to create different looks on your abstract pieces. So, I'm showing several pieces that I've been playing with. Now I'm going to take a Q-tip, and these are just cotton swabs dipped in alcohol, and I'm removing some of the ink just using a cotton swab. You can use other tools to do this with. I have some water reservoir brushes that I filled with alcohol. There are a lot of ways that you can add and subtract from your paper. Now I'm going to use some alcohol inks and just brayer those in, get a little color down, and yeah, just showing a lot of different products and different things that you can do on your abstract art. Now I'm using some golden acrylic, and I'm going to add some gesso to that and water it down a little bit because I want this paint to be kind of translucent, and these are not. Gesso is not, the paint is not, but you can water it down, and having a little brayer problem there. So yeah, keep fiddling with the brayer. Not working. Oh well. So I'll switch brayers. Yeah, I can do that. And you can see that this is a lot more opaque than the alcohol ink or the other inks that I have used here. So that's okay. You can switch back and forth. Suppose you want to cover something up. An opaque paint is just the ticket for that. Now I'm going back to the F&W because they are more transparent, and I want that transparent yellow just to fill in some of those spots. I know that using the colors, the yellow, the pinkish tone, the blue, they're all going to play nicely together. Those are primary colors. And, they'll blend. They're not going to make mud. And just remember not to scrub your piece too much because that black ink will lift. It will spread. And, once you re-wet it, you're going to have a problem with that. So I'm just using up some of that blue paint that I created and cleaning off my tools, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. So here it is. I've got some layers now, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to use some color scribble sticks, and so I'm just going to scribble with these scribble sticks on here in a color that kind of coordinates with what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to get out some markers, and I'm going to use some markers on here. Now, you got to remember not to kill your markers. This one was way too fine and it was picking up product, so I decided not to do that. I tried a couple other ones, and I ended up using a Pitt pen because that's India ink and it kind of goes over everything and it works really well. So if you want something that'll work on something like this, Pitt pens are the best bet. Um, so I'm just using my pen, outlining some things, getting some scribbles down, continuing on with my collage piece. Now I decide I want to use a little stenciling on here. So I'm going to mask it off, use some paper and mask it off. Now I've moved on to something else, because Shell shows part of what she's doing too. But here is a stenciled piece that I had used, and I've got a little bit of this pinkish magenta tone that I want to add in to this piece, because now I've got two pieces that I'm working and I can work back and forth between them. But while I still had that ink out, I wanted to add it. Oh, there's the third piece. I wanted to add it to some of these other pieces that I'm working on. So, as you're working, you can continue to go back and forth. Now, one of these is the mineral paper, and one of them is, two of them, I think, are the chrome coat paper. And so I'm just going to work back and forth between projects and play. And, it's all about the layers. It's all about, putting layers on, taking layers off. It's that juxtaposition, the back and forth, you know, wiping something back, blending it out, removing something from the surface, adding something else to the surface. So now I'm playing with one of those gift cards, credit cards, door opening cards, and some more ink, and just using it to texturize on this piece. And then, of course, we have our cleanup paper, which will be good for something else later. So now I have this other piece that is dry, and I'm going to apply some acrylic inks to that. And then I have a gel printed piece of deli paper. And when you punch this, you have to remember to put another piece of paper underneath it, because it's not going to punch out very well. I was having some issues with that, but eventually I got it done. And I chose this paper because it has that turquoisey blue and the orange tones that are in the piece that the piece that I'm trying to get semi-finished on air, because we work for an hour and a half while we do these. So I'm going to glue those down. I'm going to use a stamp with some gold ink and, just texturize my piece with that background stamp. And I know it's difficult to see. I know that you guys are going to have a hard time seeing something like that, especially on a surface that has a little bit of gloss to it. But trust me, it's there and it adds something to the overall composition. So, think about texture, think about the layout, the overall composition, how pleasing it is to your eye. So I'm going to just take a glue stick and glue those circles down, and then I'll get my high flow acrylic that I have in a bottle with one of those needle tips. Oh, well, we're going back to this one first. Like I say, I play back and forth. Now I'm just, going in and using alcohol again to remove some of what's on the surface. And I'm just using the brayer to lift the color that's in those spots. And then I'm going to use a splatter brush, and I'm going to splatter some white paint on, and then I'm going to scribble with that high flow paint and create something that, is card size, that would make a nice greeting card. Okay, so now I'm back to this piece, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying I got all that white paint out there. What am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to get another stamp, and I'm going to texturize, because I can do that. Yeah, don't want to waste all that paint that I've got down there. And so I'm pushing back around the edge of that just to blend in the edge of that piece. Now I have another piece. This is on that mineral paper. It's been sitting and drying, and I think it's a little bit too dry to lift very much. It is moving at some, but you know, I really am going to have to get more aggressive if I want to lift. So I'm grabbing one of those pens that's filled with the alcohol ink and just trying to demo, you know, what that effect is. And yeah, not having a lot of luck with it because I'm too anxious and yeah, looking looking kind of sad, but okay. You know, you can see that it moves. You can see that you can lift. And it actually lifted better on the chrome coat paper than it did on the mineral paper. So that was kind of a surprise, but it's okay. I like the gray tones, and because I like the gray tones, I'm going to come in with my rag and soften the edge and add a little bit of gray tone around the edge because that'll blend with the colors that are going on top. And let's see, where do I go from there? Probably going to have to pick some more colors. So, you know, we're about out of time for our show. I want to finish something up or get close to finishing up. So I'm grabbing some orange Molotow or Liquitex, or, you know, this is a bright fluorescent orange, and I want to have that powerful color draw your eye around the page. And so that's why I'm adding that little bit of orange to the overall composition, because it will make a difference in the end product. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, go over and watch the video on Art Joy is Sharing. And I appreciate you visiting my channel here. If you like my channel, like, subscribe, share, you know, all of those things make a difference. And you guys make a difference in my life just by being here with me and watching and sharing your comments. So I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, and remember to be kind. You make a difference. Bye for now.